What's up, Commanders fans? Our team is working harder than ever this offseason, making moves, adjusting the roster, and pushing to be sharper in every single unit. That's what it takes to chase greatness. Every change, every signing, every rep matters if this team wants to make another run at the playoffs and beyond. And today we've got a huge update out of Ashburn. The Commanders just made a roster move that has some fans breathing a sigh of relief, but also raising alarm bells about one of the most important units on the field. Plus, a rookie cornerback fighting for his NFL life just got a major reality check. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Smash that like button. It helps Commanders HQ reach even more of you, keeps our community growing, and makes sure you never miss the insider breakdowns that keep you connected to your team. All right, let's get into it. The big news this week is that Adam Peters pulled the trigger on another roster move, signing veteran offensive tackle George Fant to a one-year deal. Now, on paper, Fant is the kind of addition you want to see in August. He's a proven pro, a guy who went from undrafted obscurity to carving out a very respectable career. Over 8 years in the league, he started 75 games. That's not nothing. That's valuable experience. But here's the flip side. The move itself raised a lot of questions about the Commanders' offensive line, because signings like this don't usually happen unless there's real concern behind the scenes. Let's rewind for a second. Washington's offensive line has been a major focus all offseason. Protecting Jaden Daniels is priority number one. The team already invested heavily, bringing in superstar left tackle Laramie Tunsil, shifting pieces around, and trying to solidify depth. And yet, here we are in mid-August, signing another veteran. That should tell you something. The biggest issue right now is injuries. Sam Cosmi is still rehabbing from that torn ACL. Dan Quinn hasn't ruled him out for Week 1, but let's be honest. It's more realistic to think he starts the year on the PUP list. Then you've got Brandon Coleman, projected to start at left guard, who was carted off at training camp and hasn't been seen since. No timeline, no clarity. That's not good. So what does Peters do? He goes out and adds Fant. The problem is, while Fant has versatility, he can play both tackle spots, he's also coming off a year where he barely saw the field. Just 2 games with Seattle, bouncing on and off injured reserve. That doesn't exactly scream stability. What it does scream is insurance. Insurance against more bad news on Coleman. Insurance against Cosmi not being ready. Insurance against the line not gelling the way the staff hoped. It's one of those moves where you're happy to see a veteran presence, but you can't ignore the red flags it points to. So let's paint the picture of what this line could look like. If Coleman can't go Week 1, Nick Allegretti likely slides in at left guard. Andrew Wiley may have to shift inside. Fant would then become the swing tackle, essentially the first man up behind Tunsil and Josh Connery Jr. On paper, that works. In reality, offensive line play is about chemistry. You want 5 guys who know each other's tendencies, who can communicate without thinking, who've been in the fire together. Constantly moving parts around is dangerous, especially when your quarterback is the centerpiece of your franchise's future. And let's be real, Jaden Daniels took too many hits last year. If the Commanders want to get back to the postseason and actually advance, keeping Daniels upright is non-negotiable. If Fant is forced into more than a backup role, that could spell trouble. That's why this move, while smart in terms of depth, also raises major alarm bells. It's not just a signing, it's a warning sign. Now let's flip to the defensive side of the ball, because Monday night's preseason loss to the Bengals gave us another storyline, and this one is about a rookie fighting for his NFL life, undrafted. Free agent corner Carlin Vigers has been one of the pleasant surprises of camp. He's flashed length, speed, and instincts in coverage. Enough to make some people think he might just sneak onto the final 53. Against Cincinnati, though, the flaws showed up again. And in the NFL, those flaws get you exposed. First, the positives. Vigers can cover. He's sticky in man, he looks smooth dropping into zones, and he rarely looks lost, which is impressive for a rookie. He was barely targeted because quarterbacks weren't seeing open receivers on his side. That's a good sign. But here's the problem. Tackling. For the second straight preseason game, Vigors missed key tackles. Against the Patriots, it showed up. Against the Bengals, it showed up again. Whether it was whiffing on Andre Iosivas, on a short gain, or losing backside contained on a big run, it's the same issue. He struggles to finish plays. And in Dan Quinn's defense, corners have to tackle. You can't be a liability on the edge. It doesn't matter how sticky you are in coverage if you can't get guys on the ground. So where does this leave him? Right now, the top 3 corner spots are set. Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Sainristil, and rookie Trey Amos. After that, it's open season. Bobby Price, Essang Bassey, Antonio Hamilton Sr., and Vigors are all competing for those backup roles. Monday night, Price got torched. Bassey didn't do much to help himself. Hamilton looked solid, aggressive, physical, reliable. And Vigors? He showed coverage chops but left more questions about his tackling. So it might come down to this. Do the Commanders keep a veteran like Hamilton who brings experience and steady tackling, or do they gamble on the rookie with upside but glaring flaws? That decision could swing on what happens next week against Baltimore. If Vigors cleans up his tackling, he could lock it in. If not, Quinn may decide he's too risky. What's the big takeaway from these two storylines? Depth matters. Championship. Teams aren't just built on stars like McLaurin, Debo, or Lattimore. They're built on the guys who come in when injuries hit. The George Fants of the world. The Carlin Vigors of the world. And right now, Washington's depth is being tested. The offensive line is showing cracks, and the secondary is looking for reliability behind the starters. These are the battles that don't make national headlines, but absolutely decide seasons. So here's the situation. Terry McLaurin, the heart and soul of this Washington offense, has been holding out. He wants a new deal. He wants long-term security. And, let's be honest, he's earned the right to ask for it. At the same time, he's been dealing with an ankle injury that landed him on the physically unable to perform list. He recently came off that list, but he still hasn't returned to full practices. That's left fans asking the same question. What's really going on here? Is this just about the ankle, or is it about the contract, or maybe both? Well, ESPN insider Ben Solak just gave us some major insight. According to him, there's basically zero belief around the league that McLaurin is going to be wearing another uniform in 2025. Not only that, he says he can't even find a remotely plausible scenario where McLaurin actually gets traded or walks away. That's huge. Because all off-season we've been hearing whispers. Could the Commanders move him? Could Adam Peters cash in on his value and reset the wide receiver room? But Solak is saying flat out, that's not happening. The likely outcome is a compromise, an extension hammered out before week 1. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Negotiations are tough. Money, guarantees, structure, these things get messy. But the confidence inside the building and, from insiders who know the league, is that a deal gets done. So why are we still waiting? Why hasn't the deal already been signed? Well, one possibility is that the Commanders want to see Terry fully healthy before committing huge money. After all, he's coming off that ankle issue. They may want to make sure he can cut, explode, and do all the things that make him so dangerous before they ink a contract that stretches for years and costs tens of millions. But it also might be a deeper game of leverage. The Commanders know. They have the franchise tag in their back pocket. Terry knows it too. He does not want to play on the tag, but Washington could force that hand if they can't find common ground. And that possibility gives the team some power in negotiations. On the flip side, Terry knows he's vital to Jaden Daniels' growth. He's the security blanket, the veteran leader, the guy who makes clutch plays when it matters most. Without him, this offense takes a step backward. And he knows the fan base loves him, which adds pressure on the front office. Here's the other thing. His teammates want him back. Everyone in that locker room knows how important McLaurin is. Debo Samuel, Luke McCaffrey, Jaden Daniels, they all benefit from Terry's presence, whether it's drawing coverage, mentoring, or just setting the tone with his work ethic. Dan Quinn and Adam Peters can preach next man up all they want, but there's no replacing Terry McLaurin. And the longer he's away, the more of a distraction this becomes. Players notice, fans notice, everyone notices. That's why this news from Solak is so important. It's not just an opinion. It's a sign that inside the building, people are preparing for Terry to be part of this team when it really matters. So what's the timeline? Well, McLaurin could return to practice this week. Washington doesn't have many sessions left before their final preseason game against the Baltimore Ravens on Saturday. If he's going to be on the field week 1, he needs to start building reps with Daniels and the offense soon. The most likely scenario: we see Terry back on the field before the season starts, whether or not the contract is fully resolved. He may bet on himself and play without an extension, hoping to increase his leverage. Or, more likely, the two sides meet in the middle and hammer out a deal that satisfies everyone before kickoff. Either way, the holdout appears to be nearing its end. Now, let's zoom out. What does this mean for the Commanders' bigger picture? Well, if McLaurin is back, this offense instantly becomes one of the most dangerous in the league. Daniels throwing to McLaurin, Debo, McCaffrey, Sinnott. That's a nightmare for defenses. And remember, this isn't just about talent. It's about leadership. Terry sets the standard. He's been through the lows, he's fought through dysfunction, and now he has a chance to help lead this team into a new era. That's why fans are so invested. This isn't just another contract dispute. It's about keeping the heart of the franchise where he belongs. So, Commanders fans, here's where I'll leave it with you. Do you see the Fant signing as smart insurance, or do you see it as a red flag that this offensive line is in trouble before week 1 even kicks off? And what about Vigers? Do you roll the dice on his upside, or do you go with a veteran who might not have the same ceiling but won't miss tackles? In crunch time, I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this community is all about the fans having their voice heard. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Commanders HQ. We'll keep breaking down every move, every battle, and every twist of this offseason as Washington gears up for another run. This season is going to test our depth, our resilience, and our hunger, and we're going to cover every step of the journey right here.